Hello, my sweet summer children. I'm back with the juice to get you through the long night. So this episode kicks off with some heat, like literal fire. We are in the Stepstones. We get a shot of House Valyrian's sails on their ships. It's their banner, the seahorse, and fire just all around it. It reminded me of the Stark banner during the Red Wedding. It looks like the Triarchy has taken one of House Valyrian's ships and set it on fire. It also looks like they're stealing all the goods that were on it. This opening scene was pretty badass. The crab feeder is staking a House Valyrian soldier to the ground. He's like, the sea snake is going to come for your poxy head. Yes, the crab feeder has Greyscale. And we're going to talk about Greyscale. Everybody is like, it's healed, like Shireen. Why do you care about Greyscale? Like, why do you care? Because continuity, I care. And also, I'm just like, it doesn't look healed. Shireen's was just like a stone patch. This guy is all red. Half of his body is covered in this shit. And it's even like spread to his eye. He looks more like Jorah did in Game of Thrones than Shireen. But we will talk about that and Targaryen exceptionalism in a minute. But first, you hear the faint sounds of dragons in the sky, and it's Daemon on the back of Caraxes. And the dude on the ground is like rejoicing that Prince Daemon has arrived. He's like, yes, it's my Prince Daemon, my prince. And then Caraxes just like steps on him. Oopsies. Now, I know it's supposed to be like a comical moment, but comedy aside, it's a metaphorical strike of genius because it shows just how dangerous dragon warfare is. Dragons are deadly. Dragons are deadly for friends and foes alike. The Triarchy run into the caves to escape Caraxes' dragon flames. Can we just acknowledge how good the CGI of Caraxes is? So Caraxes looks different, right? His body is long like a worm. His neck is long. Also, I know I said that he sounds like he has COVID, but apparently he was purposely made to sound like he has a deviated septum. And also, apparently Paula Fairfield, the sound designer, basically said he sings love songs to Cyrax. Like, I just can't. I love it. Give it to me. Inject it. I love it. Anyway, Daemon is calling Drahar, the crab feeder, like, come out and face me. The archers are shooting arrows at Daemon, and one hits him, and Caraxes flips the fuck out. It's like Caraxes felt the arrow hitting Daemon. The Targaryens have this bond with their dragons that it's almost like a skin changer bond, but something like entirely different. And I have a video that will be out tomorrow all about dragons and dragon riders. So the crab feeder is not dumb. So he doesn't come out to face Daemon on his dragon. So we cut to King's Landing and it's a celebration. Baby Aegon is about to turn 2. So the timeline. So 3 years have passed since episode 2. Now, I know there are these timeline jumps and not everybody is liking it, but once we get to the old versions of these characters, we won't have timeline jumps like that. The first season so far seems to be like the straight lore leading to the main event, which is the Dance of Dragons. And once we get to that kickoff of that main event, the story is going to be like a straight linear timeline. So in King's Landing, we are back to playing the Game of Thrones. We have Sir Otto and his brother Hobart talking shit. Imagine being named Hobart. Like, I'd be so pissed. Anyway, Hobart is the Lord of House Hightower, the voice of Old Town. And it's funny that just 3.5 years ago, he was on his knees in the throne room swearing fealty to Rhaenyra. But today, he's sitting up in her house talking about our boy is looking kingly. Our boy? Like, who even are you, sir? Who are you, Hobart? So Hobart is telling Sir Otto to show the king the way to naming Aegon his heir over Rhaenyra because he's a boy. But it's not even just because he's a boy. It's a power grab from House Hightower. This whole fucking farce is a power grab from Old Town. It's been in the works. It's been in motion forever. But we already knew that. In comes House Lannister. Tywin Lannister pops in to talk to Viserys about what's going on in the Stepstones. And what's going on is that the Triarchy is fucking up House Velaryon and Daemon. Tywin is trying to talk sense into Viserys, but Viserys isn't trying to hear none of that shit right now. And of course, every time real business is discussed, please pay attention to this, every time real business is discussed, Otto Hightower interrupts and redirects the conversation somewhere else. Viserys just wants to know where Rhaenyra is. Rhaenyra is in the Godswood with Samwell. At first, I thought it was Mushroom, and I almost fell off the bed. But what if it is Mushroom? What if Mushroom's real name is Samwell? Anyway, Rhaenyra is listening to her favorite song on repeat, but Alicent comes in and pulls rank. I didn't really like that. I didn't really fuck with that like that. Not only am I banging your daddy, my rank is higher than yours now. Like the audacity of these people. So they're riding to the Kingswood, and clearly there's like this rift between Rhaenyra and her father. This lady right here, she looks super uncomfortable. You ever seen or you ever been in a situation where like people are arguing, or you're in a car with them and people are arguing and they're like arguing in front of you, and you just be like, shit, I'm ready to go home. Like that's how she looks. This has got to be the most awkward carriage ride. Anyway, we're at the hunt now, and these people are just cheering for Aegon. They're cheering for Aegon, the king and the queen. And Rhaenyra just feels left out. She just feels forgotten about. She feels lonely in her own home. It's sad, man. It's sad. The women of some of the noble houses of Westeros are gathered around talking about what's going on in the Stepstones. The Triarchy has taken Lady Joanna Swan, a highborn lady, and they are selling her to a pillow house in Lease, which is they basically made a highborn lady of Westeros a sex slave. And I'm just going to say it, like, Viserys letting this war get to this point, like, getting this far out of hand, makes him look weak to all the eyes that are watching him. Then comes the clubfoot, Lord Larys Strong. So Lord Larys Strong is not to be slept on. Larys is the son of Lionel Strong, the king's master of laws. But do not think Larys is sitting with the women for no reason because his foot is clubbed and he can't hunt. Larys is the Varys type of character. Larys, yeah. Larys wants to sit there and hear the gossip and whispers. Keep your eye on the clubfoot. Rhaenyra rolls up and hears Lady Redwine throwing shade at Daemon, the sea snake, and her father. And then Rhaenyra hits her with the, "And what have you done lately, bitch?" But I digress. Aegon's birthday party, though, it looks lit. It looks lit. We get introduced to Jason Lannister, Tywin Lannister's twin brother. Jason looks musty. Jason looks musty as hell. Jason is laying down the, wait till you see my house, boo. I'ma build you the dragon pit. It's gonna be fire, cause you're gonna be my shawty, my wife. And Rhaenyra just curves him so hard. Thanks for the wine, aka you must be fucking drunk, sir. Goodbye. Rhaenyra is pissed, which gets Rhaenyra is pissed that her dad is shopping her around to the great houses because she doesn't want to get married, which gets them to fussing, and Viserys has the audacity to talk about duty. It wasn't duty that got you with Alicent. It was love. Sir Otto interrupts because now everybody's like looking at them. I could not hang around these two because I swear they are always making shit awkward. Everybody's looking at shit like y'all are embarrassing. Nah, I'm good. Otto interrupts talking about the White Hart. The White Hart is an interesting piece they added in here. The White Hart is a mythical beast in A Song of Ice and Fire and in real life history. It's a common fantasy trope of the White Hart being a messenger. In Snow White and the Huntsman, the White Hart appears to Snow White. In A Song of Ice and Fire, Sansa has a dream that Joffrey kills the White Hart, which honestly, you never want to kill the White Hart. In the songs, the knights never killed magical beasts. They just went up to them and touched them and did them no harm. But when Sansa's talking about Joffrey doing it, she's like, but Joffrey like hunting, so he killed it with a golden arrow. But like capturing or killing such a beast on Aegon's name day would surely mean that Aegon is supposed to rule. But no, not really. I mean, that's what they're trying to say. But really, killing the White Hart, you would most likely be unfit to be king, just like Joffrey would have been. But anyway, Rhaenyra runs off and Crispin Cole chases behind her. Rhaenyra talks to Crispin about not wanting to marry and feeling powerless. Now, this hunt is piss poor. Like, I can't even describe. Like, Viserys literally has a handful of shit. Literally and figuratively. Jason Lannister presents a gift for Aegon, a spear. Jason talks to Viserys about becoming Rhaenyra's husband. He's like, House Lannister offers you strength. And Viserys is like, fuck out of here. House Targaryen is the house of the dragon. We do not need your strength. And he's like, but my house is nice. And she'll be comfortable there. And it won't feel like that much of a step down from queen once you name Aegon your heir. And I swear, the Lannisters have always been full of themselves, like always. And I actually love how Viserys handled this. That man, Viserys is in his cups. He's stressed out. He's gone off that Arbor Gold and he's had enough of everybody's shit today. Viserys hints at the thought of Lannister bannermen questioning Rhaenyra as his heir and plotting rebellion. It's treason. And he lets them know, I didn't name Rhaenyra heir on a whim. It was thought out and she's suitable for the role. And I'm not going to lie. I really like drunk Viserys. Like, give daddy some shots. So Otto pulls up trying to talk nonsense. He proposes the idea that Rhaenyra and Aegon be wed. Viserys laughs at this because Rhaenyra's 17, Aegon is 2 years old. But truly, it wasn't a bad idea, but it's not a selfless idea either. Viserys doesn't want to hear any more of this shit. Viserys is getting drunker and drunker. No one is even talking to him really unless it's about politics. Lord Strong notifies the king that they've sent people out to look for Rhaenyra. Viserys talks about being a bad Targaryen king because he can't control his 17-year-old daughter. But Lionel reminds him of his grandfather, King Jaehaerys, and all the trouble he had with his daughters. And honey, Jaehaerys' daughters were a time. I think I should do an entire video on Jaehaerys' daughters, but I'll just say they were all willful queens. Viserys expects Lord Lionel to offer him his son for Rhaenyra to marry, as every other lord has done, but he doesn't. He goes with the best choice, Laenor Velaryon. Laenor is the only son of Corlys Velaryon, the sea snake, and Rhaenys Targaryen, the queen who never was. Laenor is a dragon rider of the beautiful pale silver dragon Sea Smoke. He is Lord Corlys' heir and stands to be Lord of the Tides, master of Driftmark, after his father. Crispin is trying to get Rhaenyra to go back to the camp. Rhaenyra asks him if the realm will ever accept her as queen, and his answer is they will have no choice but to. Oh, my sweet summer child. They have a choice, and they'll burn Westeros to the ground before they let a woman ascend the Iron Throne. Then out pops the ghost of Bobby B. Just kidding. Bobby B wasn't born yet, but it's a boar. Crispin almost kills it, but not really, and then Rhaenyra stabs it to death. Alicent and Viserys are talking by the bonfire. Viserys brings up some tea. He says, many in my line have been dragon riders. Very few among us have been dreamers. What is the power of a dragon if the power is prophecy? Viserys talks again about his dream, a male babe born to him wearing the conqueror's crown. He talks about his obsession with this dream, killing Rhaenyra's mother. Okay, so let's break this down real quick because it's kind of loaded. So certain Targaryens are known to have dragon dreams. Dragon dreams are cryptic prophetic dreams, and these dragon dreams have been detrimental to House Targaryen more often than not. So you have Daenys the Dreamer, who predicted the doom of Valyria. You have Aegon the Conqueror with the Song of Ice and Fire dream. Even in a Game of Thrones, Daenerys dreams of Drogon. Like, she has 2 black dragon dreams way before anything, before her wedding and stuff. So the whole birthing of dragons things comes to her in a fever dream sequence. Daeron the Drunkard, son of Maekor, saw the death of Baelor Breakspear in a dream. Daemon Blackfyre II, aka John the Fiddler, had a dragon dreams as well. He even saw Dunk don the white cloak way before it happens. But Maester Aemon warns us of the danger of these dreams. I see them in my dreams, Sam. I see a red star bleeding in the sky. I still remember red. I see their shadows on the snow, hear the crack of leathern wings, feel their hot breath. My brothers dreamed of dragons too, and their dreams killed them, every one. So it's believed Aegon the Unlikely, Aemon's brother, had a dragon dream, which caused him to become obsessed with dragons in his later years, leading to the tragedy at Summerhall. Aemon's other brother, Aerion Brightflame, had dragon dreams as well. He was so convinced by these dreams that he drank wildfire thinking it would make him a dragon. I also believe Rhaegar Targaryen had dragon dreams. These dreams are so deadly because they can easily become an obsession like we see with Viserys. Obsession causes people to do crazy shit. Now let's talk about this hunt. This hunt, I said it before, is piss poor. How many people does it take to catch a fucking deer? And let me get this straight. Y'all chilling in the tent all day, drinking wine and eating pastries and cupcakes and shit, and then come out to a tied up deer and call that hunting? Somebody called a DNR because that seems like some bullshit. If you didn't think Viserys was weak before, I don't think you can question it now. They literally tied the deer up, pointed to where to stab it, and he still fucked it up. Like, sir, go back to the tent with the women and children, please. Crispin and Rhaenyra are sitting at the edge of the forest, and boom, the White Hart appears. Crispin pulls his sword, and Rhaenyra tells him no. The White Hart showing itself to Rhaenyra is a message. The gods chose her, and what shows even more that she would be a good queen is that she does not harm the White Hart. Crispin could have killed it, and she could have dragged it back to camp and dropped it in front of her father, and Sir Otto would have melted into the fucking soil. He would have melted like the Wicked Witch of the Wizard of Oz. All that shit he was talking about, the White Hart symbolizing the true king, and I don't really believe in prophecies, but if the White Hart, so if she had done that shit, yeah, Sir Otto would have lost it. But her not harming the White Hart actually means she was born for this. She was born to reign. Remember, only people like Joffrey would kill the White Hart. Rhaenyra rides back into camp covered in blood. They're dragging the boar behind them. We get a good look at Sir Harwin Strong break bones. Without giving spoilers, I'll just say he will be one of the men that vie for the love of the princess. So he's looking at her like, hey, that's my type of girl. Breakbones is the elder son of Lord Lionel Strong, the king's master of laws. Their family seat is Harrenhal. But Breakbones is the baddest knight in all of the Seven Kingdoms. Jason Lannister is looking disgusted. Don't even worry about it, bro, because you're not even her type. Let it go. Everybody's just looking at Rhaenyra, and she's walking through that camp like she owns it. Back in King's Landing, we have Otto talking to Alicent. He starts with small talk, and then he gets right to the point. He's a traitor. Sir Otto is the foulest of the foul. He begged Viserys to name Rhaenyra his heir to supplant Daemon, and now he wishes to undo all that to name his own grandson heir. He tries to hide behind the idea that if Aegon isn't king, it will tear the realm apart. No, sir, you will tear the realm apart. He hides behind, it's the way things are. It's the law. Well, we have a new king now, and that king makes the laws, and Viserys' word is law, so yeah, y'all are traitors. Otto makes it clear, though, that Aegon will be king. And he convinces his daughter to manipulate the king into the right direction. Help him see, because he surely won't find it on his own. So I feel for Alicent because she's being used by her father. But you're the queen now, bitch. You don't have to listen to daddy anymore. You got a new daddy now, Viserys. Anyway, Alicent goes to King Viserys. King Viserys is in a raggedy state. Like, he's missing 2 fingers. Like, Alicent actually counsels the king on how to manipulate Rhaenyra. Surprise, surprise. She says you got to manipulate Rhaenyra into thinking it's her choice who she marries. And then she reads the Raven from Vaemon Valerion. In the book, Vaemon is Corlys's nephew, but in the show, Vaemon is his brother. Alicent does her job as wife and leads Viserys to see that he needs to help Daemon, no matter what his council says. Listen, Alicent is a smart girl. She isn't dumb. She sat with those ladies all day and heard the shit they was talking. Like, she heard what they said. She also sees that it's stressing Viserys out. I like that the show writers are making Alicent likable, because when she hits that dark pivot, girl, we gonna get whiplash. In the King's council chambers, he sends soldiers to deliver a message to Daemon. Viserys has finally went against Otto and is sending Daemon aid. Otto, of course, was hoping that Daemon would lose this war and die in the Stepstones, but you can't get rid of him, bitch. Anyway, Viserys and Rhaenyra finally have a conversation, and I think it was needed. Rhaenyra felt discarded. She lost her mother. She's been named heir, but then she's disconnected. There's this disconnection between her and her father, because her father marries her bestie and gets the son that he's always wanted. Now she doesn't know where she stands. She feels disposable and not needed and unimportant, and she's still grieving the loss of her mother. And Rhaenyra finally says what we were all fucking yelling at our TV screens last week. If you were going to marry for advantage, you would have married Laena Velaryon. And he agrees. And he tells her that he won't live forever and he wants her to be protected. I think he's genuine as fuck here. I think he knows what's going to happen when he dies. He tells her to marry, strengthen your claim, shore up your succession, multiply. But he's going to let her choose her match, or at least make her think it's her choice. But what he said next made me kind of start to cry, because I got teary-eyed, because Rhaenyra has been so alone. Like, the great lords are already trying to have her brother usurp her, and he's only 2 fucking years old. And Viserys says, I did waver at one time, but I swear to you now, on your mother's memory, you will not be supplanted. And that's why I support the blacks. The greens can go to hell. Viserys promised on Aemma Targaryen, Rhaenyra's mother, that she is his heir, and he's not changing it. And I don't think he's gonna change it. He's not gonna change it, guys. Boom! We are back in the Stepstones. The War Council basically says they have 2 weeks before they're going to be out of food. Corlys says to continue sending the dragons, and he says dragons as in plural. Laenor says it's pointless because they just keep retreating into the caves. But Laenor has a plan to bait the crab feeder out of the cave. Vaemon's like, yeah, anybody that goes down there is a madman. But Laenor's like, Daemon, duh. Vaemon starts flipping out, talking about why we shouldn't support Daemon. And Corlys snatched him up so fast, like, slow your roll. Vaemon got real quiet, though. When Daemon was at the table, he got real quiet. The Targaryen soldiers arrive with a message for Daemon. Let me describe this moment. Let me describe why Daemon flipped the fuck out. Like, first of all, he has zero emotional control. He's been doing all this shit to get his brother's attention, and he finally gets it, but it's late. The hour is late. It's like Tywin showing up to sack the city after Robert won the war. 3 years he's been fighting in the Stepstones, and the king hasn't sent him aid. He's too prideful to ask for it, but right now, Viserys sending him aid, I'm thinking that Daemon is like, the king doesn't do shit without Otto say so. So he probably thinks that Otto is behind the aid. And he's like, these assholes aren't going to swoop in here after 3 years of me watching my men die and be fed to crabs and act like they're the saviors of this shit. Daemon is like, nope, I'd rather die first. He goes on a suicide mission. That's what he does. He goes with Laenor's plan of being the bait. Daemon goes to treat, has the white surrender flag, and offers up Dark Sister. He lures the Triarchy into a false sense of safety, then opens them up with the Valyrian steel sword, Dark Sister, and I like to die. When I seen Daemon cutting through the Triarchy with Dark Sister, I just lost it. Like, he's getting shot at with arrows, but thankfully none of these archers are Ramsay Bolton, apparently. So Daemon is just cutting shit up with Dark Sister. He's running a full sprint the whole time, and I think that's why it's hard for archers to hit him. But they do wind up hitting him. So Daemon is surrounded by Triarchy soldiers. But off in the distance, a figure appears on the hill, and it's the Sea Snake. Then we just see fire, and the camera pans up to Laenor Velaryon on the back of his dragon, Sea Smoke. So Sea Smoke is Laenor's pride and joy. The pale silver dragon. He's so pretty. I really like Sea Smoke. So Laenor's battle plans seems to be working. The Sea Snake leads the Velaryon army in the assault on the ground as Laenor burns shit up. This scene is just so badass. Like the Sea Snake hacking people up with the battle axe. But one of my, this moment right here, Daemon sees the crab feeder go into the cave, and that smile and that sword flip just had me like, yes, Daemon Daddy, cut his poxy head off. I also love the part where Sea Smoke football punting one of them fools clear across the stepstones, and Laenor's just like, woo! Laenor seems to be having the time of his life, just burning shit left and right. Daemon walks out of the cave, dragging the crab feeder. Well, half of the crab feeder. Daemon is covered in blood. Corlys and Daemon make eye contact, and Laenor's plan has worked. The crab feeder is no more. So that whole part was my favorite part of the episode. Daemon never said a word. He let Dark Sister do all the talking. Laenor and Sea Smoke coming in there with the Dracarys. It was just like, bro, full body chills. We have now seen 3 different types of dragons. Sea Smoke is most likely the same type of dragon as Drogon. Like, he looks the most like Daenerys' dragons. But let's talk about the crab feeder real quick. So the crab feeder is actually Cragish Drahar, Prince Admiral of Myr. But he looks like he's down bad. But mainly, he looks like he has the highly contagious Greyscale. And Daemon is like covered in his virus-ridden blood, and he was also touching his arm. So what's the deal with that? Like, does Daemon have Greyscale now? Are the Targaryens immune to Greyscale? Was the crab feeder's Greyscale active, or was it cured like Shireen in Game of Thrones? I'm gonna say that Greyscale looks active as fuck to me. When Greyscale is healed, like, it's not red. Shireen just has this patch of stone skin. Healed Greyscale doesn't look red and angry like that. Like, that's some inflammation going on. The Greyscale has even spread to his eye. He looks like Jorah when Jorah had Greyscale, but much fucking worse. You look down bad, sir. And I notice every scene the crab feeder appears in, he's solo. No one is near him. So if he has Greyscale, it could be highly likely that Daemon could catch it. But Daemon is a Targaryen, so do Targaryens get sick? So let's talk about Targaryen exceptionalism real quick. So first of all, yes, Targaryens do get sick. But the belief is that Targaryens have like boosted type of immunity. Well, not Targaryens, but dragon riders. So Targaryen exceptionalism was a doctrine introduced into law. It was a conclusion made between the High Septa and the Faith of the Seven and Jaehaerys so that the Targaryens could continue their incestual marriages. This doctrine said that the Targaryens weren't like other men. They could ride dragons. They were like gods. But when Jaehaerys' first daughter Daenerys died from the shivers, the Targaryens didn't seem all that exceptional. But the dragon riders are different, in my opinion. Daenerys speaks of this in Meereen when she goes to help people sickened with the bloody flux. Your grace should not be here, breathing these black humors. I am blood of the dragon, Dany reminded him. Have you ever seen a dragon with the flux? Viserys had oft claimed that Targaryens were untroubled by the petulance that afflicted common men, and so far as she could tell, it was true. She could remember being cold and hungry and afraid, but never sick. Jaehaerys has another daughter, Miguel. She is a septa that takes care of children afflicted with Greyscale. It says she was literally breastfeeding kids with Greyscale until she caught it. You have to either be suicidal or think you cannot catch Greyscale to hold a baby in your arms with Greyscale and nurse it. Miguel, yes, she was a Targaryen, but she was not a dragon rider. The dragon riders seem to be the blood of the dragon. They seem to have some genetic mutation. Or something like that. Because to my recollection, no dragon rider has died of sickness, let alone Greyscale. But we will talk about that another time. What did y'all think about episode 3 of House of the Dragon? As always, thanks for watching. Thanks to everyone that supports me on Patreon. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please click that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and join the Sweet Summer family. Okay, my sweet summer children, have a good day.